Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Package, written by Aiass. When I was a kid, I used to read, with wide eyes, war stories and sagas. I would imagine myself at the spear tip of a valiant charge, smashing through enemy lines. Or a sniper, silent and stealthy as death itself. But the sagas are just that, sagas. The real war, I found out from experience, is nothing like it is described in those patriotic stories, written by idiotic armchair generals. Real war is mostly digging trenches, foxholes, dugouts, bunkers. The rest is standing lookout or hiding in these holes in the ground, while artillery from both sides trade punches, and hoping that you're too insignificant to be worth one of those punches. The current war was no different. We, the Argos, and our human allies were fighting against Tunars and some backwater world, trying to repel their invasion. It was a new world, and the first mixed Argo-human colony. It was apparently a symbol. To let it fall to the Tunars would mean that our alliance is useless. So, we dug in. The Tunars dug in also, and the artillery on both sides started delivering big chunks of PTSD to everyone. Nothing makes you enjoy the little things like surviving an artillery barrage. The biggest joy of an infantry trooper is getting a package from home. It's usually just foodstuffs and maybe some warm clothes. But for us, it's hope, a glimpse at normality. It's the knowing that the loved ones did not forget about us, and we are not abandoned. It's little pieces of their love. We don't get packages very often. Apparently, ammo and shells are more important and have priority. But once in a while, like today, some mishap in the logistics means that there are not enough shells to fill the truck, and the remaining space is packed with goodies from home. I was shuffling as fast as I could towards my bunker, bent over so I would be lower than the edge of the trench, clutching close to my belly the precious package I had received from home. If a shell would have landed near me right then, I would have jumped to the ground, curled around the package to protect it. That's how important it was to me at that very moment. Michel, my human teammate, was already in the bunker, sitting at the table and reading a letter he received with his own package. His eyes were glimmering with tears, but he was smiling. I took a seat next to him and opened my own parcel. It's tradition among soldiers to share the goodies we receive from home. Eating baked goods from home in front of a teammate without sharing should be punishable by martial court, if you ask me. But first, I read my own letter and got my own share of misty eyes. Shows to demonstrate how close of an anatomy we and the humans had. It's almost funny to see some big brutish soldiers, packed huge with all sorts of gear, getting all, mushy about these letters. But I dare anyone to express that amusement to their face. It would be grounds for some healthy tension release through an ass whooping. We both finished the letters and took a few minutes to just stare dreamingly at the bunker walls, while our minds defied the laws of space travel and carried us all the way to our homes, to our family. The magical moment was brutally interrupted by a stomach growling in protest. Not exactly sure if it was mine or Michelle's, but the growling sound reminded us of the non-letter part of the packages. Unlike the brain or the heart, the stomach is a less sophisticated organ and is more anchored in the here and now. And right here, right now, we had 2 bundles of, hopefully, foodstuff waiting to be explored. I unpacked mine with trembling hands. They were homemade cookies, a piece of muff rat, something very similar to human chocolate but spicy, 4 beautiful golden perax. That's a fruit from my home world. A big bag of torn nuts and a piece of smoked pico ham, the size of a brick. My eyes all got misty again, and my grin stretched from ear to ear. This time, the stomach growl was clearly and proudly mine. Michel had laid his goodies on the table, too. A bottle of wine, a big loaf of something that Michel told me was some type of baked sweet bread. He also had some chocolate candies, 2 small round boxes of cheese, something he tells me is made from milk. At the end of his parcel, he unwrapped some sausages. My heart sang for him. "Oh, sorry, my friend," I said to him. "Don't worry, I have enough ham for both of us," I said, pointing to my brick-sized pico ham. What? He asked, distracted, already grabbing one of the sausages and reaching for a knife to cut it. Bastards took too long to deliver these to us. Must have stored them badly, too. I pointed to his meat. It's all covered in mold. No, man. It's supposed to be like that. It's a specialty. Dude, that is clearly mold. That meat has been clearly stored in improper conditions, and it has altered. Michelle grinned. It's fine. It is mold, but it's a good kind of mold. He popped one slice of the moldy meat in his mouth, maintaining eye contact with me all the while. He said, with an exaggerated delight, and he sliced another piece of sausage and gestured to me to take it. Go ahead, he said. It's delicious. My stomach decided that maybe it was not that hungry, and ceased its growling for the time being. Shoot yourself if you want the runs. I'm not eating that, I politely declined. I cut a few slices of my beaker ham and savored it. Or at least I tried. My nose kept twitching. Those sausages smelled to me a bit like rotten meat. Humans are pretty good at reading our emotions, our body language. Michel picked up on my discomfort and did what any war buddy would do. He grinned even wider. If you didn't like the sausage, you really are not going to like this then, he said, and he sliced the 2 round boxes of cheese between us. He opened one box, and there were triangles inside, packed in some blue foil. He took one triangle and removed the foil. It was a nasty-looking lump of something. It was supposed to be white like milk, was my guess, but it was riddled with irregular blue and green streaks of mold. Michelle cut it in half, and I could see that the mold was not only on the surface. There were veins of it throughout the entire thing. And the human, fixing his eyes on me, picked up one half of that mold-stricken lump and placed it in his mouth. As soon as he started slowly chewing it, he couldn't even keep his eyes open with pleasure. He went again. It melts in your mouth. Oh my God, it's so good. You have to try it. He gestured me towards the other half. I most certainly do not have to try it. That deceased-looking thing should be buried deep, somewhere far away from here, and let it rot in peace. Or we might launch it towards the Tunar's trench line. They'll probably think it's a chemical weapon. Man fucking flee. I have never seen a more nasty-looking piece of, something in my life. You sure that thing is not alive or something? In fact, no, can't be alive. It stinks like it's dead. And, not recently. Michel was giggling with his mouth full. You think that smelled bad? Well, my friend, let me introduce you to Munster, also known in my country as Monster Cheese. He grabbed a second round box and opened it. Against my better judgment, I took a small whiff, thinking that the 3 feet distance should be rather safe. A punch. That's the best way to describe it. Ironically, not a punch in my curious nose, who frankly deserved it, but a punch in the gut. I instantly felt queasy. My eyes got moist for the 3rd time that evening, but this time not in a good way. I was in physical pain. My trembling hand managed to grab the bag of torn nuts, and I scrambled outside the bunker on all fours, cursing the now laughing Michelle. Once outside, I took a couple of deep breaths to clean my lungs of the foul odor. I'm sorry, buddy, the human shouted from inside, clearly still amused. Come back in. I closed it. I'll eat it outside later. No, I screamed back. I'll come back where you bury those things, and when the smell clears, if it ever does. At this point, I was contemplating digging a fresh new bunker. I was not sure the stench would ever go away. Heck, I was still feeling it inside me. Coughing, I moved further along the trenches. There were a small lookout post a dozen meters away. As I reached it, I found 2 of my kin sitting there, blowing in their hands, Kuplan and Karpan. Same squad, but from Team 2 and 3. I greeted them, took a sit in the corner, and I started munching miserably on my torrid nuts, the only thing I was able to grab in my haste to flee the bunker. Hey, Karen, Kuplan greeted me, helping himself to a few torrid nuts. What are you doing outside? Michelle, I grumbled, still angry at the human. What happened? I told Kuplan of the short about stinky meat and cheese, and didn't even have the decency to look sympathetic. I was pouring my heart out, and they were both barely holding their laughter in. Worst thing is that I didn't even get a chance to enjoy my food. It'll all probably smell like shit now. Only thing I managed to grab were these nuts, and you're eating them all, I said, putting the bag away from Kuplan. Okay. Kuplan patted me conciliatorily on the back. Tell you what, I'm replacing Corpan here to look out duty for 4 hours. Go in my bunker and rest. Me and Arkham also received packages today. There's plenty of food left. Help yourself. Things will look better with a full belly and some rest. What is Arkham getting this package? I asked suspiciously. Arkham was Kuplan's teammate. He was a human also. All of our teams were mixed like that to build true friendship. Kuplan laughed. Only some fruits, no cheese, I promise. Just leave me the nuts, please. I have something to munch on while I'm on duty. I thanked him, handed him the bag of Torah nuts, and headed towards his bunker. Karpan was looking at Kuplan with doubt written all over his face. Since when are you so nice? And you're not supposed to replace me for another hour. Something doesn't add up. Kuplan was a face full of Torah nuts, almost choked on laughter. Look, Arkham did only get fruits, but he did get a fruit named durian. I swear, when he opened it, my vision blurred. I got out of the bunker so fast, I didn't get a chance to grab anything to eat, and I'm not going back in there for at least a day. Karin was lucky to get these nuts. They're delicious. Karpan giggled. After he wiped laughing tears from his eyes, he said, I can't wait to finish my shift. My teammate, Kimmy, said that we were in for a real treat this evening. He got some sort of canned fish, and he seemed pretty excited about it. Solmstrummen or something. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps. Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.